Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all our participants from different parts of the world. This is very exciting for me because at one point I'm actually getting to speak to people all across the world in different time zones. Even though we are at the fag end of our day in India, we are very excited to host this meeting with you. So I'm Lena Pichet Thomas. I'm the director at Global Business Inroads. And along with Jonathan Gann from the Global Life Science Development Corporation, welcome you to this webinar on development of international clusters to advance regulatory science and biomedical innovation. So I'm just, we're just going to wait for a couple of minutes as I see people register. So please bear with us just for a minute or two. And thanks to you for being on time. And we're going to try to stick to organizing this, finishing this in 1 hour so we can all get on with the rest of our days or evenings. Some quick house rules. We are going to keep all participants on mute. And there will be, timings. I think there's going to be one session right in between the webinar where we open out for discussion, and also at the end. So, please stay tuned. We'll unmute you for any questions you might have, once in between and once at the, just before we finish the webinar. So that's what we'll do. Just give us a minute and we will get started. Well, this is fantastic. It's great to see people registered on time. So thank you very much, for really joining us on time so we can get started. Jonathan, we are going to get started right away. So I'm just going to move on to talk about the agenda for today's webinar. We'll start with an introduction of, our organizations and what we're trying to do. The description of the objective, and what's the real value of working together on this initiative. We would really like to welcome all of you to very briefly introduce yourselves, because Jonathan and Harsha and I from GBI have been in touch with all of you individually. We've had some very lovely conversations, understood the needs of your cluster, your vision, your goals for internationalization. But we'd like you to introduce yourselves to each other as well. And then we will also take you through the online GTI platform. We'll talk about the overall online-offline annual program we've designed. Talk about the next steps leading up to Bio in San Diego in June, and open up then for discussions and questions from you before we wrap up. So that's the agenda, and I'd like to invite Jonathan to take us through the objective and the value proposition of what we have for all of you.
Thank you, Lena. I appreciate it. And good evening, good afternoon, and good morning to our attendees. I've had the pleasure and honor to meet and discuss this vision with many of you, and some I haven't had a chance necessarily to meet with it yet, and we're hoping to do so. The objective we want to accomplish with this global technology interface platform is essentially create both a virtual 24/7 online collaboration among the elite biomedical clusters around the world that can then be supplemental, as opposed to separate from, but supplemental to our physical connections that we make. I am the Executive Vice President and General Counsel for Global Lifesci Development Corporation and the President of the IV Squared Alliance. Global Lifesci Development Corporation is in the process of developing a 300-acre mixed-use biomedical community that's adjacent to the U.S. FDA headquarters in White Oak, Maryland, which is just outside of Washington, D.C. in the United States. We have a very unique memorandum of understanding with the U.S. FDA to collaborate with the FDA, and the FDA said they will be partners with us in advancing regulatory science and driving biomedical innovation initiatives that the FDA has, and the FDA have turned to us to help facilitate creating connections and initiatives such as international harmonization. So what our objective is, as outlined in this slide here, and everyone will eventually have an opportunity to get these slides, so you don't have to take copious notes right now, but to understand it is we are in the process of organizing and developing both a physical and virtual international commercialization network among a very select and elite group of the preeminent biomedical and biotechnological enterprises, institutions, and clusters, and that's hence the reason why we have reached out to you. With our collaborations with the U.S. FDA and another adjoining property to where we are in White Oak outside of Washington, D.C., Washington Adventist Hospital provides the clinical component along with the regulatory component of the FDA. We are creating a value proposition for each of the stakeholders, including all of our prospective founding alliance partners around the globe to create these connections for both physical events and the virtual online platform. Each of you become a beachhead for soft landing and connections for the physical in your part of the world, and our Viva White Oak is a mixed-use community that also has places for people to live and entertainment facilities and the like, would be a soft landing spot for and beachhead for the entry into the U.S. market, again alongside where the FDA is. And so that's essentially the ways in which we bring the entire ecosystem within each of our clusters and then externally among each of the clusters, so we can create unique opportunities to bring in not just those who may be in the startup mode, but accelerator mode and the other essential ingredients, including venture capital, attorneys for intellectual property protection, accountants, business executives, and all of the ecosystem that would benefit each of the clusters. So that, in a nutshell, is the value proposition. I will also say that for purposes of this webinar, we're going to be moving through swiftly to of really the big vision and what are the steps for implementation. And of course, later on, we'll be getting into how we move to implement this vision. And with that, Lena, I will turn it over to the next slide for allowing the introductions of those who are on the call.
Fantastic, Jonathan. So, this here up on, this slide is, the group of you who we have spoken to, had individual conversations, and who've also signed the expression of interest. And so we are thrilled because we have a group of 9 organizations, and apart from the US, we are a group of 10. And really, the size of group we believed was large enough, but not too large. And really, since Jonathan and GBI know each of you quite well, we feel quite harmonious, like we've created a global family to really move our objectives across, for our own countries and regions, as well as to look at what we can find in, in terms of opportunities across the world. So I think this is our first chance to share with all of you the rest of the community. And I'd like to invite, Harsha will call out the names, and then if you could quickly make a 1-minute introduction of yourself and your organization, and then we can go around the list. So I'll hand over to Harsha.
We can just go in the order which is shown on the screen right now. So I'd like to invite Gerson from Bioentropic from Colombia.
Yes, I'm here.
So can you just briefly introduce Bioentropic?
Yes, of course. Well, we are established in Colombia, in Medellin. We are a small organization who works with the whole ecosystem from since academics, companies, and the government. We try to create and we try to stimulate biotechnology sector in Colombia. Basically, that's it. We accelerate companies to make them grow.
Great, thank you. We also have another guest from Colombia, from the Colombian Chamber of Commerce. So Monica, can you briefly just introduce yourself and your organization, please?
Hey, hi, how are you? My name is Monica. I'm from the healthcare cluster in Medellin. We work with 27 institutions in Medellin with the health, trying to reach international market and to join other companies to grow our ecosystem.
Great, thank you. Then I have Anupama from iCreate. So Anupama, you can go ahead.
Yeah, hi. iCreate is a global hub for incubation of startups. We've been government funded, and we have 8 specific areas, focus area: technology, electronics, biotechnology, nanotechnology, robotics. And we help entrepreneurs to grow, and we help them in testing. So we have labs where they find solutions for particular technologies.
Good, thank you, Anupama. Next, we have Shay from Bio Jerusalem. One second. Oops. Looks like Shay might be.
Shay, can you unmute yourself, please?
Okay, Shay, maybe I'll just come back to you. I have next we have Violetta. Violetta, maybe you can just say a few words.
Yeah, hello. My name is Violetta da Sempa. I'm the CEO of the Polish Balkan Agency for Economic Cooperation. My company offers consulting services to Polish and Balkan entrepreneurs interested in economic cooperation. We are focused on all aspects of internationalization for companies, from market analysis by associating with partners and ending with the support of foreign direct investments and using various possibilities of financing. So we offer support for companies wishing to enter new markets, supporting trade exchange development, and first of all, companies, we offer support for capital projects, I mean, obtaining financing, capital project services, and so on. Thank you, Harsha.
Yeah, thank you.
Shai, we are unable to unmute you for some reason as we try to solve this, technically, and given in the interest of time. Do we have anybody else that needs to go through the introduction at this stage?
No, that's
yeah. So we have a couple of the other alliance partners who have not been able to participate at this time, but they will receive a part of a copy of this presentation. Shai, apologies to you. For some reason, we're not able to unmute you. We will keep trying, and we will have you on as well. So Shai is from Bio Jerusalem, Israel. So we will just move on with the rest of the webinar and then try to loop you in thereafter. So, I'm just moving on now to talk about what we mean by saying that we will create an international cluster of clusters, and what will this functionally mean for us in terms of, tech and innovation deployment into new markets. First of all, we've all seen that, we've been trying to engage with individual markets. We work bilaterally with different organizations, and we find that it is very, very time consuming to choose more than 1 or 2 markets to kind of really help our companies either enter into or bring them in. So it's a challenge that clusters around the world face. How do we engage with multiple international clusters? How do we know what technologies are available in other parts of the world? How do we invite them to come and work with our companies? How do we get our companies to really get out and work with companies and researchers from other clusters? And so at within GBI and GLDC, we've been thinking about what is an easy way to solve this. So we created an integrated process for tech deployment, which includes a combination of physical activities and virtual activities. So the idea of creating a virtual platform, for the international cluster of clusters was really to create a time and cost-effective way for all of us to display the technologies from our region, display the strengths of our clusters on a 24/7 online platform, and also to display what seekers from our clusters really want. So it's really going to be a showcase and connection of demand and supply, both incoming and outgoing companies and research from our clusters into new markets. So in a few minutes, Harsha will actually demo the virtual platform to all of you. But we also want to emphasize that we all know the importance of face-to-face, one-to-one relationships, which are very important. So what we believe will happen is that when we have clusters and their companies interacting virtually, once you actually connect on the platform, we will have to work one-to-one to organize their, meetings, physical meetings, customized market visits, introduction to customers and partners, and helping with various activities, which we call value-added services, to actually help those solutions get deployed in the target market. So what we're going to be doing across, over in the coming years together, is building more business and research collaboration opportunities through this integrated process of tech deployment, combining, the virtual 24/7 platform with physical one-to-one activities within a structured program, in a way that we actually get collaborations to happen. Because oftentimes we have seen that there are associations and meetings and events where things are left to just happen. But what we want to do is, because we are a small community, I mean, there are thousands of clusters and so many companies around the world, but we are now a very small community of just 10. And which we will grow, but to start with, it gives us the opportunity to kind of work closely with each other and really build actual business in terms of number of business collaborations and a number of research collaborations that we will execute, across borders. Every year annually there will be a program, and we will work together to build a certain number of collaborations on a year-to-year basis. So I'm just going to hand over to Harsha, but to take you through the virtual platform. So the virtual platform is called the Global Technology Interface, and as I mentioned, it provides a platform for early market discovery by showcasing technology and discovering new markets, with an objective to foster collaborations while saving time and money for internationalization. So the platform is really simple, and but it's trying to solve a very complicated problem. So the idea is, the key features include, we will have tech displayers and we'll have tech scouters. They will connect, we will facilitate, we'll identify early opportunities and open doors for innovation. So that's really what the virtual platform will do. And over now to a quick demo of what this looks. So this is live. Any of you can try this. The portal address is globaltechinterface.com. And you could actually try and work with it anytime you want. So Harsha will explain more.
You can register yourselves as a technology displayer or a technology scouter. So if you look at it, the two main types of users which we're focusing on, which are technology scouters and technology displayers. So technology scouters are entities who are seeking for technology opportunities and technology companies they'd like to work with. And technology displayers are companies who are looking to internationalize, companies who are looking to find partners in different markets. So let me just take you through the portal. So if you log into the portal, one second, sorry. We have three main sectors, but we will be focusing right now on the biotech sector.
Apologies, I think the internet is a bit slow, so but we will wait for the page to load.
Yeah, so if you look at it, there are the two main types of profiles that we can see here. One is the technology displayers. These are companies which have a technology which they would like to internationalize or look for partners in different markets. And then you have the opportunity section where you're looking at people who are seeking for technology opportunities. So I'll just take you into one of the profiles of the companies. So you can have technology profiles of the companies where you can display your products. You can have multiple products. You can also upload videos of your company and your technologies and your products. Here you have a short description of your company and what the company does. You can follow or connect with this company. Once you connect, a chat window opens up between the technology scouter and the technology seeker, and they can have a conversation on the platform itself. You also have additional information here. You can also request for documentations which the company has uploaded, and you can download those documents as well. And then so you can also look at the opportunity which are available on the platform. So every company which has an opportunity description, which kind of gives an overview of what the opportunity is and the specific technology requirement from their partners. So a company can connect again with these opportunity descriptions as well and apply for those opportunities. So that's kind of a basic overview. We also have an events and articles section which is coming up soon, where we'll be displaying both online events and offline events. So members can also contribute to those events. They can host webinars, they can host technology pitch sessions, they can also contribute articles about their region, about their technologies, about their companies, which will be populated on this. So it'll be an online 24-hour information portal as well. So you can also promote your regions, your technologies, your companies as well on this platform going forward. So now with that, I'll just go back to our presentation, and then yeah.
So as we, we just wanted to, like I said, you can actually explore that platform at leisure as well. But the important thing, with any software tool, as we know, is how are we going to use it to meet our objective of, moving technologies into new markets and creating collaborative research opportunities. So if you look what we have proposed to do, and of course, please note, this is a plan that we have developed, and we believe that we would like to improve and also cater to the needs of all of the alliance partners as well. So nothing over here is set in gold, but we this is the way we've set it out is that after this month's webinar, which we are all on right now, we will wait to kind of receive feedback feedback from you. We are ready to we will actually, Jonathan will now take you through the actual business plan just after I talk about the timelines. We will share that with all of you, and then we can onboard our companies onto the platform. Then after that, once you get the companies, like Harsha was saying, you could actually have both the technology displayers and the scouters on the platform. the clusters can also start to put up their information. So let's say we do this between April and May. The idea is to showcase at the bio event in June, when we share this, some of our clusters and our companies, not just physically at the event, but also virtually on the platform, just saying that while we can't bring all our companies to bio, we could actually bring them there virtually and actually showcase them to the audience at bio via this virtual platform. And the idea is once, we plan that we will actually begin our program for a collaboration starting July. And the way we have planned to start it is that we will invite all of the alliance partners in turn to organize a cluster presentation with a pitch session on GTI, including the technology companies that have been showcased to start with. Once we do the round, let's say we do one webinar a week, across July and August, then we will actually then have data, including about our clusters and our companies, on the platform by September. And by September, we can actually start facilitating deals, collaborations, have open innovation calls, and start to offer value-added services in terms of market entry services within our individual clusters. Then, obviously between September, October, November, we could get some collaborations together and meet again, then physically in November at the bio in Europe or any other appropriate event that we as a group deem, best suited for what we want to achieve. So, and of course, December, will be closing into Christmas, and we can continue our virtual activities. And in the middle of the year, we will share the annual plan for 2018. You will know that ahead by, say, June or July. You will know what the potential plan will be for 2018, which again, we have developed a matrix for, but we could definitely meet in June when we meet at Bio in San Diego to frame what our plan will look like from July up to probably the end of 2018. So that's really, what we believe to be the combination of the physical and virtual platform and the results that it will accrue. But before I hand over to Jonathan to share and give an overview of the engagement plan with all of you, we just wanted to open up, for discussions if you have any questions for us. So if you could just raise your hand, click on the sign to raise hand, we will unmute you for your question.
Harsha, while we're waiting for people to raise hands, would you just go back to the main page of the platform so we'll have that in front of us? And then, yes, we'd love, before we get into the business plan and some of the other details of next steps, take a pause if anyone has any questions about the basics of what we've discussed now, the value proposition, the objective, and this the platform that we now have. This would be a great time for anyone to ask those questions at this point.
Great. I have a question from Shay. Shay, now I think I've unmuted you, so you can maybe just introduce yourself. Hi. And also ask your question.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, how are you? So my name is Shai. Actually, I know it's written as Shay, but it's Shai. I'm replacing another Shai Melter. He finished his. I'm replacing him as executive director of Bio Jerusalem since this week, and I'm very, very glad to be part of this initiative. And I have a question regarding the GTI interface. Now, I would like maybe to elucidate, if you can elucidate a bit about the platform in terms of what else it gives beside, another showcase of technologies. Will it be a technological interface with investors? So like maybe kind of not chat, but I don't know, a kind of a technological way that to reach more easily to investors for companies.
Yes, Shai. So if you look at the features of the platform, you not only have technology display, but you also have the option to for technology scouting. So when you look at technology scouting, Harsha's just going back to the main page. When you look at technology scouting, that's really where investors, customers, and potential partners can put up what they're looking for. So yes, you're right. It is a place for investors to also come in and seek technologies, and investors can actually then run through the list of technologies and connect with them. So let's say you invite 20 of your or 30 of your tech companies to display, right? So they will we will have investors from India, US, other parts of the world coming in as technology scouters through the different clusters, and they will actually connect with the technology displayer on the platform. And one of the key features of GTI is that once they connect, the GTI admin is aware, so we can actually help them facilitate their discussion forward. So if the investor is keen in a particular technology or startup or innovation, we can actually set up for either a physical meeting or a telecon between the investor as well as the tech company. But what the platform will do is help you connect, follow, as well as bring out to our admin, the opportunity to take this opportunity and make it a reality. Because if you've seen today, yes, networking is possible in various areas, but one of the other true values that our international cluster of clusters is bringing is going to be the actual mentoring between the technology displayer and the scouter to ensure that they actually find find a collaboration at the end of it. And oftentimes, it's also important for us to curate those relationships in a way that if they're not interested, we'll say, okay, this is not working, but the ones that are working to actually help and handhold them to happen.
Okay, I see. So another small question is, as far as I understand, so this platform is already working. How many companies are written as for now in this platform?
Yeah, so this is a platform. It's very programmatic, and the platform, the first version of the platform went live in August last year. This is phase 2 of the platform, which went live a few weeks ago. So this is programmatic, and it's meant to be used, in a very curated way. So every technology scouter and displayer will, really come through a process of even before they come online. So we don't have, many technologies as of now, but along with the alliance partners, we will be creating the, the data which is highly curated. So this is not going to be like, an online platform where you just go and share and you don't know where the information is going to come. You'll be very aware of what's coming up and, what you can work with, across, like I said, the next 6 months and then in the coming years.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Now we also have a question from Anupama. Yeah, Anupama, you can go ahead.
Right. So okay, it is.
Hello.
Can you hear me? I have Lisa with me, so she's from iCreate. She has a question.
Sure.
So,
Can't hear.
Hello?
Anupama, I mean, you can't hear your colleague, sorry.
okay, just a second. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So iCreate is about encouraging entrepreneurship. And whilst we're very interested in what you're doing and in our long-term future, it looks like a very good opportunity for us. At the minute, we're in our initial stages and we're talking about developing technologies, not developed technologies. And so we were wondering what opportunities there were for potential mentors and even testing spaces that will allow some of our entrepreneurs and innovators to actually develop their technology across the global market.
That's a great question, and this platform is both for business and research. So if your entrepreneur, or a startup has got an idea, and if they are what I've seen working with startups in India and internationally is that there are many ways they can use a platform like this. One is they can find, collaborators across borders. He might just find a researcher who's working on something similar or complementary to collaborate with, or the startup might already be building a product which is global and not just local, and may want resources that he could look out for. And also, there will be a number of international research collaboration projects which we would definitely involve in a platform. So to answer your question, first of all, this platform is not just for developed technology. It's also for research stage and technologies which are at research to business stage to kind of display. Because when you look at internationalization, there is a strong belief that given the globalized nature in which a lot of these programs and opportunities grow, it would be very, very interesting for startups to kind of collaborate with partners, researchers, institutions from around the world, and that's what the platform will open up an opportunity for.
And just to add, that the platform is also just one step in the entire value chain. So the international network of networks which we're trying to build with the alliance partners is also another network which entrepreneurs can leverage to find partners, to find soft landing, or even research collaborators in different countries where you can join co-develop projects and opportunities as well. So that's another.
Most important.
This is Jonathan. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So most importantly, again, for researchers and startups, the opportunity for open innovation calls. So we will be getting in corporates as well as organizations and regions to host open innovation calls. And an open innovation call is generally a problem that a hospital or any biotech institution is trying to solve, and they need ideas from startups and researchers, and the entrepreneurs generally become the first ones to actually respond to that. So then that again is another advantage of this platform to kind of apply to open innovation calls that we'll be hosting.
If I may, this is Jonathan Jen with the Global Life Sci in White Oak in the United States. It's an excellent question, and that is almost one of the most significant reasons why we're developing this platform for support, all the support services. And just to let you know, here in Maryland, as I say, we're outside of Washington, D.C. Within Maryland, we have among the key national and international assets the headquarters of the Food and Drug Administration, the headquarters of the National Institutes of Health, the National Cancer Institute, and we have support organizations. We were founding members of what's in Maryland called the BioHealth Innovation, where we have the senior executives of some of the most successful biotech companies who offer their mentoring skills. We have entrepreneurs in residence services for maybe the great scientific minds who've come up with a great drug or device or the next innovation, but has no business skills. So we have the supportive skills network of entrepreneurs and residents who can help take the idea into making it a commercialized business, as well as having services of legal counsel for intellectual property protections and accounting services and bookkeeping and all the bringing in all the supportive services along with the great scientific technology. We have in Maryland, and with the plans of with the FDA, with the biohealth innovations, and with the universities we have. Johns Hopkins University is a internationally recognized name, and the University of Maryland is internationally renowned in its innovations, and other universities in the United States being helpful to be supportive of it is almost precisely the reason why we're doing all this. So we hope that can address why it is that we think this is from the moment an innovator has an idea to the commercialization of it and the introduction of that product or service into the market, both the market in the United States, but by virtue of our international cluster of clusters, we were able to help introduce mutually into each other's market precisely what is the purpose of this plan, both the physical and this virtual, which can be the way to have the consistent, low-cost, effective way for us to continue conversations and keep developing initiatives. So thank you for that question. If only because we want to keep on time for people. Well, Harsha, are there other hands up that we ought to address now, or?
Yeah.
Because we will have time. We will have time at the end. I want to just go through the proposed business plan overview in terms of what has been contributed to date, how we want to make this a sustainable business model. And just to note, to date, we've actually put in about $150,000 US dollars in actual cash capital and over $150,000 in the human resource sweat equity, with a lot of effort by Lena and Harsha and the Global Business Inroads organization to get this idea to this stage. What we ask of our founding alliance partners, to the extent any of you move from being an interested prospective alliance partner to saying, yes, you want to be one of our founders, our founding alliance partners, we are proposing an annual subscription rate, and maybe depending on a level of subscription, we're going to have a platinum level, a gold, a silver, and a bronze level, so we can have a spectrum of affordability for clusters. It would be relatively modest, a couple $1,000 US dollars per year would be part of it. In 2017, of our founding alliance partners, collectively, we're saying $25,000 US dollars, about 8% of all our startup costs. But what we want to do is, for our founding alliance partners, we're going to give a rebate, essentially, annually of 15% of our annual gross revenues, so that we actually, disproportionately contribution to the startup, you will get significant reservation of the rights for the rebates, because we want this to be economically sustainable to all of our venture partners. So to the extent that our gross revenue, I'm not saying 15% of the net profits after expenses, we're talking about gross revenues as a rebate to you to recycle through this. So we think that dependent upon how many of the other sources of revenues that we get, which I'll discuss, you actually could end up at the end of a year getting rebates in excess of what you contribute on an annual basis. These are just overviews. To the extent we move and your cluster is interested in becoming a founding alliance partners, post this webinar, we will forward spreadsheets and outlines of this business plan so you can see it, and we'll set up one-on-one telephone conversations so we can address specific questions that each of our alliance partner clusters may have. Overall, the GTI gross revenue categories would fall from annual registration fees of those who may want to just have the right to This is a closed, by invitation only, essentially by registration and approval network. It's not open to the public. We're going to be very selective in who we have as part of this program, because the important thing is building trust and building business relationships. So it's not something that anyone from anywhere around the world can just pop in. So we'll have registration fees just for people to become a scouter. There may be a subscription fee of $100 per registrant per year. We're going to have a revenue source of facilitation fees to the extent the connections are made and business is generated by it. Let's say a venture capital comes in and supports a startup. Part of the contribution back to the self-sustaining of this is, depending on the level of it, maybe 1 to 3% of that business generated would be a facilitation fee that again gets recycled and rebated through our communal network of the International Cluster of Clusters. There'll be specific value-added services in each location. So, for example, if there is that startup in Estonia and is looking for services of people who have expertise in how to manage an application through the US FDA, and we have facilitators who have a great deal of experience, those would be value-added services that can be done, and fees for that. Sponsorship fees, we anticipate corporate sponsorships of this, and the open innovation calls, which Alina will get into in just a few moments, really featured enterprises, and then our subscription fees. And along with the subscription fees that our Founding Alliance partners would make on an annual basis, also gives them the rights of first refusal to renew at that preferential level, which, as I say, we anticipate this being able to generate money for everyone, and we want to share it richly with all of our Founding Alliance partners. So the next page, the primary benefits that we see for you who were inviting to be our Founding Alliance partners. One I mentioned is to earn rebates. Two, that when you're a founding member and you become forever known as one of our founding members, what we're doing now, and even before we get to bio, we will, whatever the future members would be paying about 20% more after the bio conference in June 15. So we're sort of giving you the head start and reduce what the subscription rate is by 20% to the extent that you commit to do that in 2017 before we get to bio. Then after bio, the subscription rates would be up by 20% for those who wait till afterwards. But then our founding partners would always have a perpetual annual savings year to year of 20% less than what the annual renewal rate would be for those who are non-Founding Alliance partners. You would have your right, once you do it now, you will have your right to renew at that level from year to year up to a 5-year time frame. Then we'll readjust to the extent people want to readjust. One of the things that we do is we would provide mutual most favored nation status among our clusters. So if there's a United States company that may want to co-locate and have a co-location at BioJerusalem in Israel or in Estonia or in Poland or in India or wherever else, we would recommend to those businesses in our Viva White Oak cluster by the FDA, first look to these other international clusters before you look elsewhere, by virtue of our mutual most favored nation status, and we provide that. Or if one of the companies in one of the other clusters says, well, I'd like to go to Viva White Oak, then we provide the most favored nation status, lowest price for co-locations, and then a series of discounts that by virtue of your being in the international cluster of clusters, those members within your cluster would enjoy various discounts. If we move on, Lena, I'll let you talk about some of the added member benefits for our founding alliance partners.
Yes, thank you, Jonathan. This is really about the functional benefits. I mean, how do we all get to use it? As I quickly shared earlier, clusters can improve profiles of their members and technologies, we will facilitate the international business and research collaborations for their members. Then, as we said, we can all offer value-added services in our region. And most importantly, I do believe that this platform will be fantastic for open innovation, because when you have corporates and hospitals and governments, reaching out for new innovation from around the world, including the US FDA, that's very, very keen to kind of foster within Viva White Oak the environment to kind of build global collaboration for open innovation. So this will create a lot of opportunity for startups and ideas to connect with corporates, investors that would eventually license or collaborate with them to move into to actually take in new technologies and build new global solutions. And open innovation calls can actually sprout from any of our clusters. It could sprout from the US, India, Poland, Israel, any part of the world. So if you have corporates within your regions as well that is looking for technologies from around the world, what we call tech scouting, they'll be able to kind of host such an open innovation call on the platform and get our assistance to actually curate those calls and help find the right innovations. So we can also promote sponsorship modules, host online and offline events. So this platform will be very active, as I said, with pitch sessions, etc. Post articles from each other's regions continuously as well. So information exchange happens 24/7, then combined with physical activities on the ground.
Over to you, Jonathan.
Thank you. And so, because I see we're running out of time, I want to have time for people to make comments or questions. Moving to the International Bio Conference in San Diego in June. It's a 4-day conference, as you may know. Specifically, just to let you know, 3 things. One is that the Bio Conference has approved our program to be part of the Global Innovation Hub presentation on White Oak, Maryland in the United States, adjacent to the US FDA. They haven't set the time, but it is certain it's going to be on that Tuesday, June 20 at the San Diego Bio Convention. So we will be presenting White Oak as a global innovation hub alongside the FDA, along with our global technologies interface platform and how the virtual and the physical can work with this international cluster of clusters. This day, Tuesday, June 20, will be sort of the big day for us so we can concentrate people's time all on this one day for information. Then during that day, we will also have on the convention floor at the Maryland Pavilion another presentation, specifically at the Maryland Pavilion, about our international cluster of clusters. And then that evening at the Manchester Grand Hyatt Hotel, which is walking distance from the convention center in the Bayview Terrace Ballroom, we will be having a dinner, cocktail reception, and a discussion with the prospective founding alliance partners. And the key is that we have a commitment from Dr. Andy von Eschenbach, who was the former FDA commissioner and is now the head of the MD Anderson Cancer Clinic down in Texas. But he also served on the United States Congressional Committee for the 21st Century Cures Act, which the United States enacted. It literally was the last piece of legislation that President Obama signed as president on ways in which the innovation that we're trying to do and what the FDA wants us to be doing, we will be having that conversation, and it will validate everything that we're doing. Dr. von Eschenbach described to me that what we're talking about literally right now in this international cluster of clusters and the virtual and physical connections, in his word, is a bullseye, a direct bullseye on precisely what the FDA wants and what the United States government wants to help advance innovation. So I just mentioned that if there's a day that you go to San Diego and plan to be focused on this, Tuesday, June 20 is that date. Then we'll go over to talking about next steps, and I'll let Lena wrap up on next steps so that we still have time during our hour for other comments and follow-up.
Perfect. So I think we have talked about, I'm just going to keep the slide open while also inviting people to start, asking questions. But what we will do is we would, as a next step, we'd really like your feedback and inputs. All suggestions are welcome. Remember, this is an initiative which we are building together. So any exciting new suggestions to do this better, make it more relevant to you is most welcome. And we will, as I mentioned, we look forward to your feedback. We would also be setting up time to talk to each one of you one-on-one. And in about a month's time, we'll be having a follow-up webinar once we've had the one-to-one conversations with you as well. So yes, with that note, I'd like to welcome any questions and suggestions from all of you.
Yeah, we have a question from iCreate.
Okay, Santana, I wanted to check when you talk about technology display. Though we are it's the initial phase right now, but going forward, say after 2 years, so is there any cap for the number of companies which can display technology display? Like if we promote startups from our end.
Is that your question? Is there any cap on the number of technologies which can get on the platform?
Yes.
Well, actually, you will see that technically there is no cap. The platform can accommodate as many technologies as possible, but based on your subscription level, you will be allowed to kind of put up, 20 or more or 20 or 10 technologies. So you can take a subscription that works in terms of the number of technologies you want to display.
And also companies can register individually as well from outside.
Yeah, so if the company is not a part of your cluster as well, they can register individually. If you don't want to kind of, let's say take a subscription as a cluster, they can subscribe individually as well, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Do we have any more questions for anybody?
Even comments are welcome.
Comments or criticisms, we're all looking for ways in which to improve this, and we want this to be the biggest value add proposition for all the stakeholders. So please feel free. But if you're shy and you want to, I don't mean like shy Melker or shy at Bio Jerusalem. I mean if you're SHY, or if you're modest and don't want to ask a question in front of a group, we are planning to have these one-on-one conversations to the extent you've had some time to absorb what we've gone over today, and if you have questions or comments or critiques after you have some time to absorb this, then coordinating will be following up, and you can reach out to Lena and Harsha to set up a time that we can do the one-on-one. What I do ask, and you don't have to.
A question from Bio General.
Oh, okay. Yep. Good.
Okay. Sorry, sir. Hello?
Sai, you're unmuted, so please, you can start, Shai.
Still seem to have some technical difficulty. I just wanted to say is, because we do want to try to keep on time, that if you are interested in following up and getting more information, detailed information about the business plan, please let us know and we can get you that information. Arsha?
Okay. Sorry, we have another question from Mike. Sorry, just hold on. Anupama, do you have another question?
Yes. I wanted to check, is there any option of collaborating between clusters? Like you have 3 clusters, so other is your for ICT or a different technology. So is there, within the cluster of cluster, is there any option of collaborating where biotechnology collaborating with some other cluster?
Just to mention to you, clean tech and ICT verticals are also open, and we can talk separately, Anupama, about what your interest would be about, in the ICT and as well as the clean tech space.
No, I wanted to check on the internal collaboration between these 3 different clusters.
If I understand your question, this is Jonathan. If I understand your question, that's precisely what we want to do, so that we all have, by virtue of our all being founding alliance partners and all subscribe to this, that every cluster can really open up the channels of collaboration among each other. So if Estonia wants to collaborate with Poland and directly, and Israel wants to collaborate with Paris, France, and however the clusters want to work with each other, that's what we're trying to build, these bonds of working and collaborations with Colombia and ways in which to enter into all the other markets. That's precisely the purpose of this.
Okay, my question was collaboration between ICT and biotechnology. Is there any option where we?
Yes, of course, Anupama, because there would be an opportunity for that as well.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Shai?
Shai, can you hear us now?
Yeah, can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh,
go ahead.
So I also wrote this question. So my question is regarding to the relation with the FDA. This is actually quite a big thing. So I would like if you can speak a bit more about your connection with the FDA. What is their part in this project? How are they connected to this project? If you can speak a bit.
Yes, I will speak about that briefly. We have a signed memorandum of understanding with the FDA to explore a whole variety of things to help advance biomedical innovation worldwide, including international harmonization. And in many ways, the FDA, US FDA, is looking to us to be a conduit for all the various stakeholders, both nationally and internationally, as well as from researchers, universities, private industry, patient advocacy groups, the whole ecosystem coming together, working on these collaborations. And what the FDA has said is that through our MOU, we, at Viva White Oak, our global life sci Development Corporation project, and our what we call our IV Squared Alliance program, actually can act as a degree of separation between, as an intermediary essentially, between all the international stakeholders and even private industry, pharma and biotechnology companies, private sector commercial companies, we can act as that conduit, so there's a degree of separation, and FDA does not have to worry about conflicts of interest issues, but that to the extent we act as a facilitator to invite the FDA officials right next door to where we are, physically as well as virtually on webinar platforms, to be sitting at the table, as it were, as we do all this, they are prepared to do that. As we had a by invitation only conference where some of you did participate in it. We had the commissioner of the FDA say they're and I love the way he described it, that they consider the partnership with us through our MOU to be both a noun and a verb, meaning they're partners by virtue of the MOU, but as a verb actively, they will be partnering with us and sitting at the table. And the other way to perceive it is this allows our founding alliance partners to have a seat at the table with the FDA officials in working on all these innovations, and why it is, as Dr. von Eschenbach said, a bullseye on what the 21st Century Cures Act and what the United States and the US FDA wants to accomplish will be participating, bringing all the stakeholders together. And in many ways, the founding alliance partners will be sitting at a table, and before maybe the rest of the world knows the direction biomedical innovation is going, your clusters will know it, your stakeholders will know it, and entire new industries and entire new enterprises can come of it. So that's sort of at the core of what's driving it. And in fact, an example of how we act as that conduit in the government of Telangana, India, wanted to start having these kinds of collaborations through their Pharma City plant in Hyderabad, for example, and we facilitated the meeting here with the FDA, and the FDA, US FDA, said, well, sign an suggested to the government of Telangana, sign that memorandum of understanding with the Ivy Squared Alliance, and meaning us. And by virtue of that, and then our MOU with the FDA can participate in that program. So that is really at the core of how we do these collaborations, and know both how international companies could be come into what we consider our port of entry into the U.S. public health market, but also how the FDA wants to reach out in international harmonization ways and work with maybe regulators in the different parts of the world as well, creating all those opportunities. And I believe that this is a way in which further innovation, further businesses, further commercialization will happen.
Okay, this is actually sound fantastic. I have some other small question. I think we can discuss it in later, as you said, personal meeting that we'll have. What you don't have my email because I'm replacing Shai Meltzer, so I will write it the question. What?
I have it. I can share it with Jonathan. I connected with Jonathan.
It's okay. This is a new email, so okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Just one more question from a late participant. We have Kazimierz from the Krakow Life Science Cluster. Kazimierz, do you have a question or a comment? Can you
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry. Actually, it's not a question. I just wanted to raise a hand and say I'm in because I was late. I didn't hear the beginning of the discussion and the presentation.
Great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so we will in fact be sending a recording of the webinar, and you will then get to hear the entire discussion, whenever you'd like, Kazimierz. So if you still have questions after that, like I said, please feel free to email us, and we can set up a one-to-one time to have a conversation with you. Does that sound okay?
Okay, that's good. Thank you.
And Harsha, this PowerPoint, these slides will also be available?
Yes.
Okay.
Great.
So, Jonathan, I think we are done with the questions. We've also kind of done this bang on time. I think we're about 5 or 7 minutes late, but we've been able to kind of finish through our agenda on time, and that's thanks to everybody really coming on time and keeping the discussion prompt and precise, because I think 1 hour is the right time to kind of meet online. I think Jonathan and I are very excited about meeting all of you in San Diego potentially, but of course most importantly to have more deeper one-to-one discussions. Jonathan, I would leave it to you for some final comments before we end this.
Well, thank you, and I just want to thank everyone for your interest in this. I believe that this is a very exciting opportunity. We're really, because the US FDA wants and has this initiative of biomedical innovation and wants to become actually a facilitator for greater innovation globally. This creates a unique opportunity, value proposition really for all of us as potential founding members of this alliance to be working in collaboration with the FDA and each other in helping to really be cutting edge and leaders in the advancement of global health in the 21st century and going even beyond that. This is the start of this. We're at the very infancy of it, but we're ready to embark on it. And some of the for some, to give a little perspective, and then I'll wrap up, is one of the reasons why there really hasn't been, at least in the United States with the FDA, a particular focus like this. Actually, to let you know, physically, the FDA didn't really have a single home. They were scattered all around the Washington metropolitan area in different offices, and the different divisions of the FDA were all separate. Well, the whole reason is that while we're doing this right now, the FDA is being consolidated in this one location. The headquarters now is a single headquarters with all of the divisions of the medical end being in this one location. So now it's for the first time, and this consolidation has been going on for about the last 5 to 7 years and is still ongoing, but there are about 9,000 of the scientists all in this one location next door to where we are in the Viva White Oak, and that's why in many ways it's now the FDA is looking in a more holistic way. So we think this is a great opportunity for all of us to get in on the ground floor of these opportunities, and we hope that you'll find this is a value proposition for your cluster and for all the stakeholders within your cluster, both opportunities to advance health and to commercialize their discoveries. And with that, we look forward to hearing more from you, and to the extent that you're interested, we hope you are. We want to continue that conversation.
Thank you.
Lena, back to you.
Yes, thank you, and good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, and thank you very much to all of you. Bye-bye.